Yes, I play video games. I played Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's latest game. I played it. And not just because I wanted to review it, but because I actually wanted to play it because Norman Reedus was in it, or Mads Mikkelsen was in it. That chick, I can't remember her name, but this chick, she is an amazing actress. I'll get to her later. I really liked her character in this game. Anyway, but also I really wanted to play this game because I had heard of Hideo Kojima before. He's the reason why we have the Metal Gear Solid games, which I personally have not played, so this is my first Hideo Kojima game. So quite the experience for me, and playing it for the first time, watching the story play out and all the cutscenes, a lot of them. His style is very unique. He has a lot of cutscenes, as I just joked about. He has a lot of cutscenes in his games. I personally don't mind that. I like when a game is more story oriented than, say, gameplay. Like, gameplay is important, but I personally just prefer, I don't go into a game for gameplay only. I don't go into a game for the multiplayer, which I never use anyway. I go into it for the story and the characters, like I do for a movie or a TV show. So, what I will do is I will talk about the story, which I have a lot of thoughts on. Last, I will talk about the gameplay first. It's not the most fun gameplay that I've ever had with a game. Like, it's not, the mechanics and everything are fairly straightforward. Most of the game is you just making deliveries and stuff like that, and that's pretty much what all the side missions are. Like, there's one mission where you have to deliver a pizza. I never did that mission because it didn't seem pivotal, but that is essentially what you get with this gameplay. Also, combat is not really a thing in this game, which is a very unique twist on a game like this. Like, you're not meant to kill people. Like, I'll say Batman as an example, because you don't kill people in the Arkham games, but it's not really like you notice that. Like, in this game, you have to be careful that you don't kill people. Even the story itself, it's like, we're trying not to kill people, we're trying to rebuild what we lost. And the gameplay, and to integrate that from the story and integrate that into the gameplay itself, where you actually have to be careful of what weaponry you choose and stuff like that, that was kind of cool. I am disappointed though, however, that they got rid of the void out thing, because I was playing it, I played it once and I voided out, I died, and there was a huge void out, and then I accidentally killed someone later on in the game, and I kind of just forgot that they were there, found them again, and then, no void out. Like, why would they? I don't know why the game creators got rid of that feature, because it really made you think about your options and the things that you would have to do. If there's not going to be a void out, well then what's the point of integrating the idea of not killing people in the gameplay, if there's not going to... So there was a real threat in killing people, but now there's no longer a threat anymore because they got rid of that mechanic out of the game. Why? I actually do understand why, but I just prefer it to be in the game. Another thing that kind of plays into them getting rid of the whole void out mechanic is that it's an RPG game, but not like Fallout, where you're just playing it solo, right? And it's just you. With this, you're essentially playing with other players. Like, you can't really interact with other players, I'm pretty sure. And I don't really know how it works, but there's a community feature to this where you can see the stuff that other players have left around. Like, you can pick up their stuff, you can deliver it, or you can use it for yourself. Me, personally, I just I left it, depending on what it was. If it was ceramics or metals, I used that to build the roads. If you played the game, you'll know that there's Lake Knot, and there's South Knot, and then there's Mountain Knot. And you can build a road that goes to all three of those locations. That was the only side mission that I actually cared about, because it made the traveling so much more easy. That's pretty much all I have to say about the gameplay, is that. So the only side mission that I liked was building up the roads. I didn't really care about the side missions, making all those deliveries, didn't really care about that, and kind of liked that it made you think about how to approach an enemy, even though they got rid of the void out mechanic. But nevertheless, let's continue on with the story, my favorite part of this game. This was the shit, okay? This game had some of the best storytelling in a game that I have seen, and this is a thing that I have heard people say about Hideo Kojima's other games, like the Metal Gear Solid series that I mentioned earlier. I have heard that Hideo Kojima is a master at making a compelling story with compelling characters inside a video game. And as me, someone playing a Hideo Kojima game for the first time, man, did I get that. I wouldn't say every character is great, like Mama and her twin sister and that whole storyline. By the way, I'm not going to spoil anything in case you haven't played the game. I may have spoiled some elements of the gameplay, but whatever. I'm not going to spoil anything concerning the story. But when it came to Mama and her twin sister and stuff like that, their story, I was kind of like, I didn't really care about. The stuff that I really honestly cared about the most was Sam Porter, Fragile, and Mads Mikkelsen's character. I was solely invested in those characters and their story. Their story, there's a lot of twists and turns, which, like, it's all a giant mystery, and there's so much that happens because there's so many cutscenes and there's a lot going on, that by the end of the game, you realize, you start piecing it all together, and you see it all makes sense. Norman Reedus' part in it makes sense. Fragile, it all makes sense. Mads Mikkelsen, though, and the twists and turns in the story that comes with his character that you see later, way later, near the end of the game, I was so emotional. I think it was the longest cutscene in a game ever. It was at the very end of the game. It felt like an hour cutscene. It really did. Maybe 40 minutes, actually. But that is where most of the twists happen, and it really rocked me. It was so compelling. I don't know how else to say it other than that. It's like Hideo Kojima really put a lot of focus into the story for this game, and I haven't played his other games, but I'm pretty sure I'd be getting the same thing that I did get in this game. But man, holy shit. Oh yeah, Fragile. I did say I was going to talk about her. She was one of my favorite characters, and the actress that plays her, don't even get me to try and pronounce her name because I can't, but I loved her part. There's a scene in this game that something really bad happens to her, and I was just like, shit. I'm just like reflecting on it now. It's still affecting me. This game is still affecting me, and I finished it like weeks ago. And I don't know if you know this, but this is the first time that I have reviewed a video game on my channel ever. And I wanted this to be my first video game review. I wanted it to be my first because of how hyped this game was and how good it was probably going to be and is. Anyway, I have talked enough. I'm sweating. It's really hot here in Australia at the moment. So I'm going to go, and I will see you in my next video.